Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. I am very excited for today's video. I haven't done a 24-hour readathon in a long time, so I feel like it'd be the perfect way to end Bookmas off with a bang. And I'm kind of feeling a little slumpy, I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like the 24-hour readathons, they force you to read, and sometimes that's like one of my biggest things, is I'm just not like sitting myself down to read a book. And a lot of the times too, I think I'm getting slumpy when really I just need to start a book and then I get into it and then I'm fine. And obviously there's a lot of ways to do a 24-hour readathon. You can just read from 3 p.m. one day to 3 p.m. the next day without sleeping, or you can do 12 hours of reading one day, 12 hours of reading the next day. Some people even set a 24-hour timer and still do their daily tasks. I'm doing it the way where you set a 24-hour timer, but you start it whenever you're reading and you pause it when you're not. So mine's gonna go over the course of a few days, hopefully only a few and not too many. Right now I feel like that's just the best thing because the holidays are kind of like in full swing and I don't want to be focused too much on reading and not enjoy times with my friends and family. Ooh, I'm also feeling a little bit sickly. I mean, I think I'm just getting a cold, which is kind of annoying considering the time of year. But I was literally sick for the entire month of December and then half of January last year. So if I just have to do a quick little cold, that's honestly all I can ask for. The first book that we're going to be starting off for today's video is so exciting. I actually got this one for Christmas from my parents. We already did our family Christmas this year. I'm going to be reading Betting on You by Lynn Painter. This recently came out in I think early November, and I've been itching to read another YA book by Lynn Painter just because I loved Better Than the Movie so much. You guys know if you've watched my videos, that is a 5-star read for me through and through. It just has the perfect YA cutesy rom-com-y vibes, and I honestly haven't read a YA book in a long time, let alone a YA rom-com, and I feel like this will just be absolutely perfect for me right now, especially for a 24-hour readathon, because I just fly through her books and her writing. So let's go ahead and get into Betting on You by Lynn Painter. It is definitely time for a check-in. We have 21 hours and 31 minutes left on the timer, which may not seem like I've read a lot, but I am flying through Betting on You, and I just wanted to make sure that I come in and do a quick check-in before I like actually finish it, because I could see that possibly happening. I'm currently on page 188, which is like about halfway through, and I am loving this so far, eating it up. Lynn Painter just has such a way with writing where everything just is so wholesome and cutesy, and you get those butterfly feelings that you get whenever you think about high school and high school romance and first loves and all those types of things. She just articulates that so well in her books, and this is giving me the same vibes that Better Than the Movies did, and I just absolutely love it. There have been a few little cringy little areas, but I mean, it's also YA, so like that's kind of given sometimes, and it hasn't even been like that many. Most of them I've just kind of like laughed at and moved on, but I just wanted to mention that because you definitely have to be in the right mood to read like a cheesy rom-com-y young adult book. So if that's not your vibe, don't read this book, or wait until like that is your mood that you're in. I don't really think I told you guys what this one was about either, but it's about our two main characters named Charlie and Bailey. And you'll never guess, but it's dual POV. When I saw that it was dual POV, I was already kicking and giggling and screaming. The way that I would have done anything for Better Than the Movies to be dual POV, even though it was still beautiful and amazing and perfect on its own with just Liz's perspective, but to get a little bit of Wes sprinkled in there, I would have loved it. And I'm loving Charlie in this book. Basically, our two main characters meet like 3 years ago on a flight. They get to talking. Everything seems so easy for them, but they also just like don't really like each other. And then a few years later, they see each other again. And then a year after that, they see each other again and they figure out that they're going to be co-workers. So it's really interesting because they have a little bit of history, but it's not like they were friends or anything like that. They were just kind of like random acquaintances that you meet out and about. And I love that they're co-workers because I feel like there's so so much tension whenever you're like a coworker with someone, especially at that age whenever you're first getting into dating and liking people and stuff like that. It's just such an interesting little world to think of whenever you're thinking about romance book tropes, especially for this age group, because that would literally go crazy at this age. Like if I met the love of my life and he was my coworker, but like at this age, like you know how much fun you have with your coworkers whenever you're this young? So I'm absolutely loving that trope in here. They also both have divorced parents, so they kind of like relate to each other on a level that other people really can't, and they both just find each other so easy to talk to even though they really don't have a lot in common. And since they're a few years older, obviously they look past those little differences and stuff, but they are truly so cute, and the banter is just so cute too. And this is just giving me all the cutesy rom-com-y vibes that I needed. I mean, leave it to Lynn Painter to write a cutesy rom-com. She does no wrong in this field. This is like her realm of writing. Like this is what she does. She owns rom-com book writing, especially for YA. I don't know if there's anything else to say besides that I'm really enjoying it and I'm excited to keep on reading. We're about to get to a little plot point too that I'm very interested in, and that's going to create a lot of cute little tension between Bailey and Charlie. So I'm excited for that, and I don't know if there's really anything else to say besides I'm excited to keep reading and to finish it soon. And I think that's about it. So let's go finish betting on you. Check in on the timer. We have 18 hours and 5 minutes left, and I just finished Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I thought this was so cute. As we all know, I loved Better Than the Movies, and I don't think this was like up there with that one. I don't think it's a 5-star. I don't think like it's on the same level as Better Than the Movies was for me. There were a few like cringy moments that I just kind of like couldn't look past, but it's also YA. It's written for a younger audience, and I have to remember that. But all the rom-com-iness and cutesy little, I'm gonna call it tasteful cringe, because honestly like rom-coms are most of the time tasteful cringe, and I eat that shit up. I love tasteful cringe. So yeah, I liked this a lot. Charlie and Bailey were so cute. I also feel like in YA romances, whenever there is a third act breakup, I really don't mind it as much because they're so young and they're learning how to communicate and they're learning about all these things, and they're really just trying to do the right thing, but they just don't really know how to do that yet because they've never had to like go through anything like that. So for me, I don't know, this book hit. This book was so cute, exactly what I needed. It was just so easy to go through too. I absolutely adore Lynn Painter's writing. I have no idea what that is. Okay, I don't really know what that was, but it stopped, so that's good, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, I really liked this. Every book that I've read by her has been very cute and very good, and I highly recommend this. It was just a very fun time and very cutesy, and I loved it. Okay, like I said, we have about 18 hours left, so we still got a lot of time. I'm not sure what I'm gonna read after this, but I do have to catch up on my book club book. We are currently reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. For our book club, we kind of do it differently. I know a lot of people, they'll pick like one book a month, and then they'll read it separately, and then come to book club and like talk to each other about the book that they chose. We've been reading this book since October because we like to like buddy read it with each other. Sometimes we take home and like read a few chapters. That's like what I'm doing right now because we're kind of all in like different spots right now with the reading, and we have been reading this for a long time, and honestly we're trying to get done with this as quickly as possible because we want to read Ruthless Vows together. Divine Rivals was the first book that we all read together, and we just absolutely love it. We binged it in like 2 sittings. As for this book though, it's kind of like a murder mystery. I don't want to say anything else or say what's on the back either because I didn't really know what was going on going into this book, and honestly I think that's the best way to go about it since it is a mystery. You just find so many things, and there's so many like plot twists and discoveries and stuff like that. And even though I've read this book over such like a long span of time, every time something like that happens, I find myself getting sucked back into the world, and it's so fascinating. I'm currently on page 200, about to start chapter 28, when I'm supposed to be reading till chapter 40, which is on page 289. So I got little ways to go. I've got about like 100 pages-ish. So this is what we're doing next, and I have no idea what I'm gonna read after that, but I don't want to pick something because I don't know what mood I'm gonna be in after like I finish reading what I'm reading of this. So I'm just gonna set those to the side and we can look at those later. But as for now, we're gonna go ahead and get into the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Portion I had to do for my book club. I believe that it was exactly 88 pages. So I'm now on chapter 40. Like I was saying, that's where I wanted to go. I don't think we'll be reading this at all for the rest of this reading vlog because I don't think that I have any more reading to do for book club unless we decide to do some more, obviously. But I think we're done with this. I am enjoying this so far. I think the only thing though is that it's a little bit confusing because there's just like so many characters, like literally endless characters. And I also got a little bit spooked out, so I did start our other book because it got dark and I didn't want to read this while it was dark and while Luke wasn't home because, as we all know, I'm a scaredy cat. So now that we're done with this, we can officially dive into the other one. Let's do a quick little time check too. We are officially at 15 hours and 41 minutes. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm actually surprised, but I am in the mood for another romance. So I ended up picking Jill Santopolo's The Light We Lost. This is a book that I bought last year at Barnes & Noble on Black Friday. So I've had this on my shelves for over a year. So I figured it was time. Also, my friend Olivia has been begging me to read this for so long. And I was like, you know what? I just read a very cutesy romance. Now I'm reading a mystery and I'm scared. So I might as well just go for another romance and kind of get out of that scared mood anyways. And also, I've just kind of been in a romance mood lately. I was reading a lot of fantasy back to back. So I think maybe that's why I'm just like tired of fantasy and want like a quick break from it. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we end up reading all romance in this video. But I am 52 pages into this. I'm enjoying it so far. I am sensing that it's going to be a tearjerker, mainly just because on the back it quite literally states, "Your new tearjerker has arrived. Fans of Me Before You and One Day will love/weep over this elegant novel." If you know anything about Me Before You, I didn't read it, but I watched the movie. It ruined me. So if this in fact does that, I'm a little scared. Haven't read a romance book like this in a long time that I know is probably going to make me sob my eyes out. So I hope I like it, and I hope that, I don't really know. I'm kind of nervous, low-key. So we'll see what happens. You're probably gonna get some clips of me crying. So get excited for that. Okay, I wanted to update you guys because I am flying through this. Every time I pick it up, it's just so easy to go through because the chapters, I'm pretty sure there's not a chapter that's like longer than 10 pages and most of them are like 1 or 2. So it's just been going very quick and honestly, I was really enjoying it. Keyword was, and that is because my least favorite trope was introduced. Now, I'm not gonna tell you what the trope is, but if you've watched my videos before, or if you watched my tropes video that I made for Bookmas, you'd know what it is. I just hate it so much and I can't stand it and it really bothers me. And my friend Olivia also hates this trope and she's the one who really wanted me to read this book. But she said this is the one time that she'll like allow it. So I don't really know. I mean, this book is also more of a character following book. It's not really like for the plot. Like there's not really any crazy plot that's in here. So definitely don't read this if you're looking for plot. But I have 40 pages left. I'm currently on page 280. And Olivia told me good luck. So I'm really nervous. I just feel like there's something wrong. I think I'm just gonna finish it and then we'll talk more about it after I'm done. that way. Ugh. I need to watch something happy for a few hours. Okay, first of all, don't mind the fact that I've worn this like 3 times in this video. These are my pajamas. It is what it is at this point. Second of all, you might notice that I am in a different location. I'm actually at my parents' house right now because I am babysitting my dogs. Come here. As for my final thoughts on The Light We Lost, I think I'm gonna wait until the end of the video to really give those because I'm truly just not completely sure how I feel about it yet, and I think I just want to wait. I truly don't know my rating yet. I feel like I need a little bit more time to digest it. With that said, I did start a new book, and when I say start, I mean I have gotten a lot of the way through it. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. It's called Terms and Conditions. It's all by Lauren Asher, and I'm currently on page 231. So like I'm basically halfway there. I do still have, oh, are you okay? Peanut almost fell through the hole in the couch. I do still have a good chunk of like reading time to do, even though I am like halfway done with this book. The timer has 8 hours and 51 minutes on it, and I've been thinking about it because I feel like I'm gonna finish this in way less than like 9 hours. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna finish this and then read like a little bit of an audiobook. So that's kind of like my plan. I don't know what that book's gonna be yet, but as for this book, like I said, second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, it's basically to where Dreamland is like almost like Walmart version of Disneyland. I think it was just like copyright. She couldn't like say anything about it. And it's about these 3 brothers, and basically their grandpa is like Walt Disney. Like he created Dreamland and everything that has to do with it, the characters, all that kind of stuff. And their grandpa passed away. And in order for the 3 boys to get a part of like their inheritance and a part of the company, they have like specific things that their grandpa said that they have to do in his will in order to get those parts of the company. And their dad's like evil and he's the CEO. So obviously they don't want him to be like a part of the company at all. So that all kind of stems from that too, and it's like important to them to do that for the company because he wasn't a good dad and their grandpa was more of a dad to them. It's a long story, obviously, because there's 3 books talking about it. This specific book is about the brother Declan. He's the oldest brother. He's kind of like very grumpy and brooding. He's just like a straight up businessman. Like that's really all we're getting, but we're getting like little hints of smiles and like a little happiness and personality from him, little sprinkles, and that is because of his assistant Iris, who he just married because it is a marriage of convenience. Because what he has to do is he has to get married and have a kid in order to become CEO. And he gets to be CEO because like he's the oldest. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I obviously really want to finish this today. And if I don't, I'm gonna be really sad. In all honesty, I feel like I've been doing pretty great with bookmas. I haven't been getting too stressed out. Like I've been editing and uploading and filming all the videos at a pretty good like speed and time to where everything's uploaded on the right days and stuff like that. But this last week leading up to Christmas, like today is Christmas Eve. If all things go to plan, you'll be seeing this video on Christmas Day, but it has just been a lot this past week, like a lot of just like family things and stuff like that. And obviously the holidays are just like a stressful time in general. So I'm just excited to go back into my little book world and finish up this 24-hour readathon. And hopefully you guys are watching this video, or this video is out on Christmas Day. If you're not watching this on Christmas Day, that's still good because like it's still I don't know how to explain this. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this before I literally talk your entire ear off. It is currently 11:49 p.m. and I have 2 hours and 46 minutes left on the timer, and it's gonna be a late night because I have to finish this tonight in order for this video to go up on time. I'm literally so exhausted and so tired, but it's literally the last day of bookmas. I don't want to miss the last day. You know what I mean? You guys saw too that I started a new audiobook. I started Thank You for Listening by Julia Wellen. I think that's how you say her last name. And it's actually really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's more of like a literary fiction, women's fiction book. There is like a subplot of romance, but I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like Emily Henry, Ashley Poston type writing, which y'all know I love. I'm just basically about this girl named Swanee, and she is an audiobook narrator. And it's funny because the author actually narrates audiobooks too. I've actually listened to her do a bunch of like Taylor Jenkins Reid books for sure. I've listened to her with other stuff too. I just can't remember exactly what it is, but I know she does Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. And since she is an audiobook narrator, she's literally doing her own audiobook, which is so cool. She uses so many different voices and stuff like that. She just makes it very animated and enthralling, and the story very like enticing and fun to listen to. She's definitely one of my favorite like audiobook narrators, but it's about her, and it's basically just about her life and all the things she's going through right now. And the subplot of romance in it is kind of like one of those things where you're like talking to somebody in real life and then you're talking to somebody online, and like I think they end up being the same person. I don't know if I'm really like there yet or figuring it out yet. 59% through the audiobook, and I've just been doing it while I've been doing chores today, through editing, eating, all of that kind of everyday stuff, because as you guys saw, we started our day with a lot of minutes, and I have no idea how this challenge is not done yet. Like, I simply don't understand, because normally I only get to like 3 books in these challenges. I don't know if it's like the specific books I picked or what, but we read 2 full books so far. And then I read a little bit of my book club book, and then I'm also almost done with terms and conditions. I have like 100 pages left, maybe not even that. And then I'm also like super far into this audiobook. Audiobooks are different though, obviously, because I literally listen to it on 2x speed because I'm a psychopath. But I don't know. I just feel like I've done so much reading in this video, and this challenge is like never ending. Like, I don't know what I don't know. I keep thinking about it. I'm like, did I forget to like start the timer sometimes when I was reading? I don't know. Anyways, I definitely think I'm going to be able to finish terms and conditions for the time that we have left, at least, because it's like literally 2 hours plus, and like I said, I only have like 100 pages left. And then I guess we'll just listen to the audiobook for the rest of it. This is probably the last time that I'm going to check in until we do like our big rack up. Guys, I am literally so tired before we do the big wrap up. So I don't know where we're at right now. Like in the audiobook, I'm not like super crazy about it. I don't know if it's just because I was doing a lot of different stuff while I was doing it or what. I might have to listen to it again, because sometimes when I'm listening I just don't like retain as much, so sometimes I have to like go back a little bit. But I am really enjoying this book. I can't remember if I said it earlier or not, but the first one, I don't know, I read it like in a weird part of my reading journey where I like super wasn't into reading yet, and I feel like if I would have waited a while, then I would have wanted to read this book, because I've literally had this on my shelf for a year. Like, and this is a good book. Like, it's very cute. I don't know, Iris and Declan are super cute together, and I just like them a lot. So I'm excited to share my final thoughts on everything here once I finish the challenge finally, and then also edit the video. So let's do that. Hey guys, coming to you live on Christmas Day. Sorry if you can hear, oh sorry, little puppy's foot pattering. Anyways, Merry Christmas if you're watching this on Christmas Day. If you're not, then I hope you like it. As you saw last night, we finished the challenge and I feel pretty good about it. I stayed up until like 3:30 editing and reading and all of that kind of stuff, and I've edited the video basically to this point so far. So let's go ahead and do a quick reading wrap up, and then I can get this up for you guys. Okay, first book we read in this video was Betting on You, Aylin Painter. I absolutely love this. I thought this was everything a YA rom-com book should be. Not better than the movies for me, but definitely up there, and I think I'm gonna rate this like a 4.5. All ratings in this video are subject to change, FYI, because I probably won't even remember what I rate them because I am so tired. It is literally like 8 a.m. Let's not talk about it. Next, I read a little bit of my book club book. This is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. And it's a mystery. We talked about this book a little bit, but I only read like 88 pages of it because I had to for my book club, like I said earlier. And I don't know, I'm enjoying this, but it's also kind of hard because I'm not reading it like all at once. So I feel like my opinions on this are going to be skewed like anyways when I eventually do a review on it. So that's that one. Then I read The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. This one, so beautifully tragic. One of my least favorite tropes too, which still not really sure how I feel about it. I think I'm gonna rate this like a 3.75, which I know is like super exact, but just because of the trope and all of that stuff, and there was some things that I was like kind of confused about just in general. I don't know. If you want to know more thoughts about this for me, go ahead and check out my December reading wrap up, which will probably be up with the January reading wrap up, or my yearly reading wrap up coming at like the beginning or end of January. Hope that made sense. And then the last book that we finished obviously was Terms and Conditions by Lauren Escher. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think I'm gonna rate this like a solid 4. That was very cute. I really enjoyed, I think, the beginning a little bit more than the second half. I don't know if it was just because I was like tired, you know, from reading. So maybe that like skewed my rating as well. But I think I'm gonna think on this a little bit more, but for right now, 4-star. And then also we started reading Thank You for Listening by Julia Wellen. I ended up getting 75% into that one. I actually really enjoyed it a lot. It was a very good mixture of like kind of what I was wanting, like not too rom-com-y or romancy, but also had like that like lit fic side, women's fiction side, and I did like it. I'm not sure I'm gonna rate it yet because obviously I'm not finished with it, but I am enjoying it, and I highly recommend the audiobook if you guys want to listen to that. That's why I'm reading the audiobook of this one specifically, just because the audiobook narrator is just like so good. Okay, that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you did, and also follow me on all my other social medias if you're not already. I've got a TikTok and an Instagram. I'll be posting on there a lot more after Bookmas. I hope you guys enjoyed Bookmas. I'm really proud of myself for getting all the videos up. Hopefully at least you see this video. I don't really know yet, obviously. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.